Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Charlie. If you guys like things about goal setting, productivity, please don't forget to subscribe and also click like so I know to make more videos like this. And don't forget to follow me on all social media. I'm at Charlie Silva. So I want to read you this quote. It says, "In the end, you'll only regret the chances you didn't take." And this is by Lewis Carroll. I want to tell you guys a story about resilience and about persistence and patience, because the thing is that when you want something badly enough, if you have a dream and you want it really, really badly, you'll only regret not taking the chance to go after it and putting it your all into it, because you don't know what can become of it. You don't know what will spark an idea that will change your life for the better. And so there's a story of a man. His name was called, I think, and I'm sorry if I butcher this, is Soichiro. Soichiro was a Japanese engineer, and his dream was to work for Toyota. His dream was to work for Toyota in their assembly line. And so he had created a piece for their engine in his like homemade workshop. And so he took it to Toyota and told them like, hey, I made a piece for you guys. And Toyota took a look at it and they said, this is not up to our standards, so we will reject this. So they rejected him. A lot of us would take that as like, oh man, like I had a dream, it didn't work out, blah blah blah. I put a lot into it and it just didn't work out. But this man had a dream and had so much resilience and so much persistence in his dream of working with Toyota. So what did he do? He went to school. Took the time to learn as to why it wasn't at their standard. So he took a year to figure it out, which is so crazy, because the amount of patience you need to figure something out, to even have the chance, the opportunity to know if it's worth it, if it's the opportunity for you. So after the year, he figured out how to make it to their standard. He took it back to Toyota and he's like, hey, here you go. And Toyota took a look at it and said, great, manufacture it. And so now this man had to go back, manufacture this piece of the engine so that he can give it to Toyota. And so as this was going on, as he was trying to build his factory so he can be able to build this tool in a faster rate than just him solo, he was trying to build a factory so that he can produce this tool. As this was going on, there was a war happening in Japan. And so as he was building his factory got bombed, not once, but twice. So it got bombed once, tried to rebuild it, and then got bombed twice. So there was 2 times his factory got burnt down by this bomb. And so you would think, again, at that moment, you'd be like, oh my gosh, like the universe doesn't want me to be here. The universe doesn't want me to have this dream that I have so badly in my heart. It's just not meant to be. I'm gonna give up. This is it. Blah, blah, blah. But the thing is that this guy, he kept going. He did not give up. He kept trying. He kept persisting. He kept having patience. During that war, they had a huge fuel shortage. So being able to transport was becoming exceedingly impossible to do at that time. And so he was seeing a lot of people, a lot of citizens having to ride bikes or walk to work or to their house to do errands or whatever the case. He was seeing his country suffer in this way, and it made him feel bad. So he knew he had an engine that he can put on his bike, and so he was testing that out. And then he saw that a lot of his friends were interested in his motorbike, and that's when it sparked the idea of creating a motorcycle. And this is what started Honda. This was Soichiro Honda. So what we can take from this story is that if Honda never had persistence, patience, resilience during this difficult time of his life, we wouldn't have the cars that we have now. My partner, he has a Honda. He has a Honda SI, and his dream car is a Honda Type R. If this man, Soichiro, never had the persistence that he did, then many of us wouldn't be driving the cars that we drive today. And so just think about that for yourself. If you have a dream, if you have a goal, you can create something that's so useful for so many people, and it's all because of a spark that you have. A spark of an idea will propel you to have the thing you want. At first, the thing is too, is that at first he had a dream to work for Toyota, and instead he's competing with Toyota now because he created his own company. So think about it. Maybe your dream is to one day work for a law firm, and you'll never know. Maybe one day you'll be able to create your own law firm. For me, my dream is to become a full-time content creator and to make money off of this. But maybe, just maybe, at the end of this, I'll have my own multi-billion-dollar business. No one knows unless you're going after it and you're creating this resilience. I tell this story again. I tell this story to present to you resilience, patience, and persistence. And I want to teach you the 4 keys of resilience and how to master them. So if you're liking this video so far, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also click the notification bell so you do know when I do upload, and follow me on all my social media. I'm at Jolie Silva. So the 4 keys of resilience and how to master them is honesty, humility, flexibility, and patience. Let's talk about number 1, honesty. So honesty is being able to be vulnerable with the resources that you do have. You may not have the knowledge, all the knowledge. You may not have all the experience needed in order to complete something. Shiro didn't have the knowledge of knowing how to create something up to a standard, up to a safety standard. And so what did he do? Instead of telling them like, F you, who are you to tell me? He's like, you know what, you're right, I'm gonna go learn it. I'm gonna go figure it out. So for me, I take that as honesty, and honesty is always the best policy. And that is what I want to take into the company that I want to create one day. I want to create a company where I'm not just spewing out a bunch of BS. I've actually put into practice what I've said and put into work with what I'm teaching. And so if I don't know something, that means I'm going out there learning it and experiencing it and figuring it out so that I can come back and teach you guys what I've learned through my experience, not just what somebody else had experienced, what I've experienced through all of this. He didn't take offense to this rejection. He decided to learn more from it, and that's what we should take for ourselves too. Just because we don't know something doesn't mean that it's the end all be all. It means that it's a chance for us to learn more. It's a chance for us to experience more. Honesty is always the best policy. So if you're creating a business and your business is based off of, let's say, a coaching business, and so you're trying to teach people how to get clients, let's say you're a lash coaching salon service and you're teaching people how to create a business for lashes and how to get your first client, but you've never actually gotten your own first client, how are you supposed to teach somebody else? Instead of BSing your way on teaching somebody else, first learn how to do the work and then come back and teach it. Because how are you going to teach somebody something that you've never learned, or you're never teaching yourself, or you haven't even figured out yourself? People are going to trust you more knowing that you've built something yourself rather than somebody who hasn't built anything. Like, who are you going to trust more with their word? Warren Buffett or some homeless man trying to teach you about money? Warren Buffett, obviously. Why? Because he's a multi-billionaire who's obviously built businesses, and so you're going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to take advice from him because he knows what he's talking about, rather than some 7-Eleven guy who has a bunch of debt and been broke his entire life. You're not going to be taking advice from him. You're going to be taking advice by the person who actually has what they're trying to teach. So if you have what you're trying to teach, then more people are going to trust you and therefore buy from you as well. And so for me, that's what I'm implementing as well. Honesty is always the best policy. So anything that I'm teaching through these videos, I'm applying them to myself as well. So the next framework, number 2, is humility. And this is, don't try to show off what you don't have. So people online go into debt. People online go into debt trying to show off to others rather than doing the hard work of saving up and then buying the thing. And so by staying humble, by staying truth to your word and working hard and putting all the hard work into action and showing up with the results, will take you a lot more farther. You'll be more humble in the hardships and the difficulties and the late nights and the early mornings. You're gonna feel more humble than being able to take someone else's hard work and calling it your own. At the end of the day, that's not gonna get you any further. What's gonna happen once you've maxed out on that person's experience? You know, you're never gonna be able to grow from there. You're just always gonna stay stuck in the same place. Why? Because you never put the hard work in the first place. So for me, as I'm learning, as I'm teaching this stuff, the more stuff I'm gonna learn, the bigger I'm gonna grow. So therefore, the more I'll be able to teach, and the more I'll be able to grow my community, grow my my audience through the stuff that I'm learning. But if I'm bullshitting my way into teaching something, I'm never actually learning how to do something. Therefore, I'm always gonna be stuck in the same place, and that's not gonna get you anywhere. So by learning and applying the knowledge and actually putting the work into it and building resilience and being humble of your hard work is what's going to propel you to go farther. For example, like people online try to make money off of the experiences of somebody else instead of learning how to do the hard work themselves. And so what exactly are you teaching? What exactly are you trying to show? What exactly are you charging people? Because at the end of the day, people are going to know what BS is. If you're trying to teach someone how to make a first sale, but you've never made a sale yourself, people are going to see right through that, and they're not going to trust you. And how would you know how to teach someone else how to make a sale when you've never made a sale yourself? So you're in fact going to make your work 10 times harder trying to figure it out how to present that to somebody than if you were to actually just go out and do it yourself and then come back and teach somebody. Like, you're gonna do 10 times the work trying to figure things out and try to say things that try to figure out what to say and read a lot more. It's only gonna put you farther and farther from the dream that you do want, because again, if you're not putting in the hard work, you're only doubling your work. So number 3, flexibility. You need to be able to be flexible with yourself and being able to bounce back, because things are gonna get hard. And this is what resilience is. Things are gonna get hard, you're gonna fall flat on your face, and learning how to get back up time and time again is what's gonna bring you the rewards at the end of the day. Because the amount of times that you're gonna fail is gonna be a lot. And it's not failure at a big scale. It could be failure at a small scale. It could be simple things, like for example, if you're trying to go to the gym, the failure could be, I just couldn't make it today. And so instead of completely giving up and telling yourself, it just wasn't meant to be, just think it's just a failure for the day. It's not a failure for a lifetime. I just couldn't make it today, but that doesn't mean I can't still track my calories. That doesn't mean I still can't go for a walk maybe. That doesn't mean I still can't put a YouTube video on and work out at home. There's so much access to resource now that you can do instead of the thing that you set out to. And so having the flexibility of your time, of yourself, is what's gonna build resilience. So I take these YouTube videos as me building resilience, because sometimes I think that thumbnail is gonna work and I put it out there and I upload it into YouTube, and it actually does the opposite. It completely fails. I don't see it as like, oh my god, like this video sucked, I'm just gonna delete it, I'm gonna delete my channel, I'm never gonna upload again. I see it as, no, this didn't work out, what can I do instead to change it? What can I do instead to make it better? I'm gonna take the feedback that I have and I'm gonna make it a million times better the next time. Is being able to be flexible with yourself and understand yourself, that you're gonna fail, but being able to get back up time and time again is you're gonna build a strong shield for yourself. So I want to use this analogy of a ball because I read it somewhere and I thought it was fantastic. It was the ball. So you have a bouncy ball and you throw it on the ground. You have a bouncy ball and it's a perfect sphere shape, and you throw it on the ground with all the force that you have. Once you throw the ball in the ground, the ball will flatten itself because it hit the ground. It will flatten itself, and then with all its force that hit the ground, it's going to spring up and become a perfect ball again and go higher than when you bounced it. So it's kind of the same thing for us. If someone knocks you down, with all the force of your mental self, of your mental state, you get back up and you spring higher than when someone pushed you down. And so being able to be flexible in that way, because you're changing your shape when you're falling down flat. You're changing your shape. You're like, okay, this isn't working, this is working, I'm failing, I'm falling on the ground, and you fall, and then you're like, I'm not gonna just stop here. I'm gonna get right back up and I'm gonna go higher than I did before, than when I came back down. And so I just love that analogy of like, you know, we're perfect sphere balls right now and things are gonna knock us down, but that doesn't mean that we can't spring ourselves up. The flexibility of knowing that if you fall down, you can get right back up and spring up higher than you were before. Use that emotional, like that emotional, being able to provoke yourself with all that hatred and emotion, and use it for your good. A lot of the times when we listen to like female artists, same time, like we see it a lot with music artists where they get their heart broken and then they make the kick-ass heartbreak album of the year. And so, and they get something out of it. They get a Grammy, they become certified platinum. All of these things come from them being heartbroken. They produce something out of it. So if you're falling flat on your face and you're just have so much in you that you're just like, I feel like I failed, produce something out of it. Use all that energy, that, because it is energy, use all that energy to produce something out, to produce something, and you never know what can come out of that exhaustion. Because you never know when you'll have a great spark of idea. It could come out of nowhere. Maybe it could come out of when you have your heart broken, or when you feel like giving up and you're at your last leg. Something may spark and you give yourself one more chance to do something, and then boom, it ends up working, and then great, you're there. So the last thing is to have patience. If you know me in real life, you know I'm the most impatient person of all time. However, I've learned something new about patience, and again, I have to applaud Alex, HORMOZI, and Layla, because they have taught me a lot about patience. So when you're working towards something, it gets boring. Okay, it gets super boring. Waiting and waiting to see if your dreams come true is boring, because it's a lot of reps, a lot of practice, and a lot of slow progress. And so there's something we can do in the meantime while we are waiting to see if something happens, waiting to see if that thing that you're working towards happens. So the 3 things that we can do while we're waiting is testing, experimenting, and just doing something else in the meantime. So while you are testing, for me, it's testing my thumbnails, testing my my videos to see what works and what doesn't. The second thing is experimenting with my scripting, seeing what captivates the viewers longer and stays and keeps them there for longer. Or experimenting also to see what type of thumbnails gets the most clicks, what type of titles gets the most clicks, and then just doing something else in the meantime. So while I'm waiting to see if I am generating any results, I'm also doing something else. I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm keeping myself busy, other than obsessing with the fact if I'm making progress, because it's really boring. There's nothing else we can do other than just wait to see if it happens, wait to see if it becomes what you think it is. And so that is what I want to leave with you guys when it comes to resilience, is having all of those things and mastering each and one of those things. And that's where you're going to build a strong force with yourself, and know that anything that comes to you, you're able to reflect right back and bounce right back. So if you guys like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Also click like so I know to make more videos like this. And yeah, follow me on all my social media. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Bye. Mwah.